my friends, and welcome back to my library garden. I appreciate you so much for joining me today. Today's video is going to be a little bit of a longer pull, as I'm going to be pulling from 3 decks and then doing my ritual deck at the end. Make sure I got everything in line here. Yep. So I'll be doing my tarot plant, house plant deck, my woodland wardens deck, and my Smith Waite deck. And then at the end, we'll be doing a ritual pull. So to start, I want to go ahead and get some sage lit. Go ahead and spark this. I don't like to get it smoldering too much because I'm right below a fire alarm. But with us today, I also have some selenite to cleanse my decks, some mustard seeds. I like the connection they have with faith in the universe. I have some crystal quartz and some smoky quartz here, as well as some desert rose to help combat the negative energy. I've also got some amethyst and labradorite to tap into the psyche. I have a mountain stone to connect with the earth a little more, and some protection salts. So I'll go ahead and lay a few of these out, and then I want to go ahead and start with ringing my singing bowl. If you guys hear any squawking, that's just my bird. Alrighty. Now we're going to take some of our anointing oil that we made a couple weeks ago. I'll put the video in the end screen. I'm just going to get some of that and anoint my decks. Get all of them. Get me. Send it your way. Alrighty. So go ahead and get into it. I'll start by shuffling my houseplant tarot deck. Now today's reading, I really want to focus on healing, grieving, addiction, sobriety, just the hard times that people are going through, the tough times. This is my going through it pool, as I'm going to call it. So just some things that you need to see, some things to hear. Go ahead and pull from the Smith Waite deck. Now, with this pool, I just want people to be mindful that everyone is going through a hard time right now. I mean, absolutely everyone that you encounter, everyone you meet, is going through a hard time. It's always something that somebody's going through. So let's remember just to give grace to everybody you meet. People are always going through things that we don't know. People are always going through things that we don't see. So we just want to be mindful and be kind to everybody, be kind to everyone we meet. Be the beacon of hope that people see in the world. Finally, we're just going to pull from my oracle deck. Aren't those so cute? Look at how beautiful those cards are. This is absolutely my favorite deck, along with my crow deck that I use sometimes. Alrighty. We've got everything pulled. So the first card that I have is the Nine of Cacti, or the Nine of Swords. Now, this card is representative of fears, it's representative of anxieties, maybe some nightmares. So this is just, relating to the topic, and maybe we're going through something hard that's creating a lot of fears, a lot of anxiety. Maybe we just lost somebody, an animal, or maybe we're in the process of getting sober, or even just picked up a new addiction, and that can be causing a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, maybe questioning of yourself, a lot of just like introspection to think about. Look inwards and see why you're having those fears, why you're having those anxieties. Just look at yourself and see why you're feeling that way. I think nightmares can be really beneficial in terms of symbolism and stuff. So maybe if you're having these nightmares, keep a dream journal, write them down, and just reflect on the things that you're seeing in your nightmares. So next we have the Knight of Flowering Plants, or the Knight of Wands. Now, in this card, we show a struggle of self-confidence and maybe some self-doubt that's some self-doubt that's present. So that can be relating back to the nightmares and stuff that we're having, the fears and anxiety. That can be causing a lot of self-doubt, a lot of lack of self-confidence. But this is also just a reminder that regardless of what you're going through, not everyone's gonna understand. And ultimately, the person to understand your situation best is you. So look inward for that self-confidence, to get rid of that self-doubt, because sometimes, we have to be our own listener, our own best friend, because nobody else is going to fully understand the situation that we're going through other than us. So next I have the High Priestess card, and this is going to be reversed also. So the last two cards are reversed. Just shows a little bit of an imbalance of energy emotionally or maybe spiritually. Just representative of that hard time you're going through. So this card shows to examine your inner self, going back to the nightmares and everything, going back to the self-doubt, to really evaluate yourself. Maybe you've been looking outwards for validation. You've been looking towards somebody else, external validation, even on social media or something, or, just the people you're around. You're really searching for that external validation, but you need to keep in mind that you're the only person that understands what you're going through. You're the only person that understands your fears, your anxieties. So just make sure that you're working on validating yourself to build that self-confidence and get rid of that self-doubt. Also, it's representative of trusting your intuition. So again, relating back to the dreams and the dream journal, make sure that you're paying attention to the symbolism you're showing and what your higher self is representing. So next is going to bring in the Smith-Waite cards. And the first one we have is the Four of Pentacles here. So this is representative of stability, good times, but also warns that you can lose it. So I think this really relates in terms of maybe we were doing good, we had promising adventures or promising plans with somebody, and we just didn't reach them, or maybe you had promising plans for yourself to get sober or to do things, and then something happened, and things were taken away, because it's always important to remember the things that we're given can always be taken. And sometimes that causes grief, that causes nightmares, that causes fear, it causes anxiety, and in turn that can also lead to the the addictions, because I think that addiction is really a symptom of trauma that people experience. So I think that that's really a card for just introspection, to reflect on the things that have been good and beneficial and abundant in your life. And then to usher in the next card is Death. So this is also metaphorically and physically. Sorry, my dog's come in. He's trying to get on my beanbag, but I have all my stuff here. Oh. Alrighty, so with this Death card, again, this can be metaphorical, it can be literal. Maybe you did just lose somebody, you lost an animal, you lost a loved one, you lost somebody in your life. And it's also representative of transition and transformation. So going back to the getting sober, going back to the recovery, Maybe you're, trying to step out of one door and step into another, and it can really be hard. So it's important to remember to embrace the things that happen, because death is always inevitable. Transformation is always inevitable. Something's always going to happen. And so it's important to remember to step into that change and reflect on the good times you had. But remember that everything's going to shift. Now, next I have the Queen of Pentacles, and actually showing that we have two, sorry, I'm dropping my cards here. So we have the Queen of Pentacles and the Reversed High Priestess, but both of these are, feminine figures. So I'm wondering if maybe somebody lost a motherly figure or a woman figure, feminine figure in your life, or even maybe you're looking to, for that nurturing, you're looking for the kindness and the nurturing spirit of what, what femininity brings. So this also shows us a navigation of decisions and reflection of reaching goals with common sense. So this can really go through what we were talking about transition and navigating through your decisions that you have to make for this transition or for the grieving. So everything that we're doing here, navigation through your fears, your anxieties, navigation through that self-doubt and everything. So this is really important to just show that the decisions you're making are the right ones, but just be mindful of what you're making, because everything goes through a transformation and you have to allow it to happen. And actually at the bottom of the deck for this, we had the Six of Cups, which are a reflection on good memories. So representing all of what we just pulled, a representation of good memories. You want to have what I like to consider tear soup. So that's where you put all of your grieving, all of your memories, just all of the good times, all of the bad times. It's based off of a book called Tear Soup for Children. But you take all of your memories, everything, and you put them in the pot and you stir the pot and you have a cup of the tear soup, and you really just, you sit in your grief and you have your grief, you have your bowl of grief. And when it's time, when you feel it's time, you can bag up the soup, you put it in the freezer, and whenever you want to have a bowl of tear soup, you just pull it out and you pull out your bottle of grieving and you open it and you grieve again. But in order to do that, you have to reflect on your good memories. You have to reflect on all that's happened, because a lot is going to happen, a lot is going to change, a lot's going to come into your life, and it's important to remember, to really accept and have gratitude of those things, because those things can really be taken from us. Death, transition is inevitable, so make sure that you hold on to your good memories and that you make your tear soup, whether you're grieving your old life. Sometimes when we step out of addiction, we tend to grieve the old ways that we had. We grieve the habits we had, the fun that we had with them, or even the relief that they provided. And so there's so many different forms of grieving and so many forms of memories to put in. So just make sure that you're being mindful and that you're putting those memories in your pot, and then you're enjoying your tear soup when you need to. Now, finally, I have my Wordland Wardens deck that I pulled from. So here I have the Upheaval reversed, which is the Vulture and the Asphodel. Again, vultures are representative of death, right? So we have that metaphorically and physically here with the Major Arcana of the Smith-Waite deck. Then we also have that here with the Woodland Wardens deck, okay? Now, this is showing that there was some kind of transformation, some kind of death there. Again, literal, figuratively, maybe you did lose somebody, maybe you're losing that old life, your old habits. But this is just showing that maybe you're trapped in your grief. So maybe what you're losing, what you've lost, it's holding you, it has a hold on you, and that could all honestly be what's causing that fear, that anxiety, is because you're not allowing yourself to work through your things. That's the biggest thing, is people think they need to get over things, but you don't need to get over them. You need to go through them. You need to work through them and feel through them. because you are valid and your feelings are valid, and it's important to remember to feel your grief, but don't let it swallow you. And then here we have the Frog and the Lotus for Metamorphosis reversed also. So we got 2 reversed here for the Oracle deck. But this one, this card really just shows that you can't control everything. You know, metamorphosis is inevitable. Whether something bad happens, something good, change is always going to be there. I'm really big on the serenity prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I can change, the courage to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And I think that's so powerful and so impactful, because we can't change everything. Things are out of our control, and we don't have control over everything as much as we would like to. And so just remember that things are going to happen, so make sure you can accept the things you can't change, that you have the courage to change the things you can, and the wisdom to know the things that you cannot and that you can change and that you have an influence over. And ultimately, no matter what, you always have an influence over your feelings and how you feel and how you manage them and how you take care of yourself. Because ultimately, you taking care of yourself is the best way, because whether you can change something, whether you can't change something, in the end, good and bad things take a toll on you. They can be stressful, it can be hard, so just make sure that you're really focusing on yourself. Focus on that good, focus on the good memories, the bad memories, make your tear soup, and ultimately, just give yourself grace, give others grace to heal in your own time. Let's see. So I think we're going to do feminine energy today for the deck pull. Sorry, I'm looking for it. So feminine energy, and then I think we also should do let's do strength, because it's important to have strength through all this. We'll do strength, relief. I really just want to bring a bunch of these in to remind you everything's okay. Even if it doesn't seem like something's okay right now, everything is okay. It'll all be okay. So I pulled a couple here. The first one being deep sleep, because I wanted it to relate to the fears, anxieties, and nightmares that one might be experiencing. So this is for sleepless nights and rejuvenation, for balance, for essential rest and healing that our minds, bodies, and souls require. So take a milk of choice, almond milk, coconut milk, something, turmeric spice, cayenne pepper, black pepper, cinnamon, ginger root, and honey. And it says, with each sip, sink into your body. Allow the static of your mind to dissipate. With each sip, drink in the medicine of the earth. Visualize yourself becoming one with sweet, serene lullaby of the cosmos. With the last sip, allow your mind, body, and spirit to slip into complete relaxation. So I think for this, you could also use some kind of tea, chamomile, sleepy time, something like that. Just something that helps you connect with the earth and really tune into your psyche. Again, we have the amethyst and the labradorite for that. So maybe just find some crystals you have, sleep next to them for that good sleep. Try to work through, keep a dream journal to channel those dreams, those nightmares. And then I also pulled release because, again, with the vulture, that grief that has a hold on you, release. You want to release it. When the weight of chains become too much to bear, when you are ready to progress to the next plateau of your spiritual evolution, the ties that bind no longer hold power over you. Empower this card. After the affirmation above, set the intention and remain clear, whole within your mind, body, and spirit. Repeat the ritual as many times as needed until you feel energy return to you. So let's find the above affirmation. I now cut this connection for my highest and greatest, most love-centered good. I release the energy back to the point of origin with love and trust for good of all. I am free, I am light, I am whole. So I think at the end there, that's really important. I am free, I am light, I am whole, because You want to be free of your grief. You want to feel through it, because the grief will always be there, but you don't want it to chain you so hard that it's creating so much fear and anxiety in your life. I brought out feminine energy because we had a few feminine energy cards, and so again, whether you're dealing with the nurturing that you want or anything like that, or you even just lost somebody in your life that holds a womanly figure. So when you find yourself in need of ferocity, spiritual connection, and receptivity, draw this card to ignite the fires of divine inner feminine. Sit with your altar and allow gathered items to ignite a divine fire within you. Envisage the attributes of the divine feminine that you wish to awaken in yourself. So this is really just channeling the inner femininity, the inner nurturing, the caring, the emotional leveling that it's causing on you. Especially going back to that Queen of Pentacles card, she's representative of the mother that's nurturing, that's always taking care of everybody and putting their needs before their own. So really, channel that, but put your needs into what you want. The ritual that you want, put your needs into it, and show yourself that you are deserving of whatever release you need, because that change, that metamorphosis is there. So you want to make sure that you're granting yourself grace. And then finally, I want to close out with wisdom. Wisdom, again, relating back to the serenity prayer, the acceptance to change, the acceptance of things you cannot change, the courage to change the things you can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So this is to tap into ancient, ever-flowing well of wisdom within. Remember the keys that reside inside, waiting to be claimed. Reclaim your well-being of spirit and higher knowing and light. Follow this card. I am clear. I am a clear channel. I am a wellspring of wisdom. It all lies within me. It guides all around me. So that was the final pull for all my decks. So thank you so much if you stayed through the video. I hope you really enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it or it resonated with you at all, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you'd like a reading, please go ahead and let me know down in the comments. And I hope that you take care. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.